So good morning to you, and thank you for coming on the program.
Morning.
It's great to have you on the show. So, for you, do you think that Oscar Oyema deserves a second term?
Oh, absolutely. Oscar Oyema, ON, is a very visionary leader. If you look at his track record in the last 5 years, he has actually transformed the Nigerian Stock Exchange in an unprecedented manner. Locally, he has been awarded with the national honors of ON. Not even Nigeria alone, he has been recognized in the entire Africa region for the beautiful job he has done. Looking at the way he has put together a very good team at the stock exchange, interestingly, Nigerians who he has brought back from abroad, to come and lend a hand in transforming the Nigerian stock exchange. From the records, the market capitalization was about 11.2 billion in 2011, and as at the end of year 2015, it has risen by about 51%, which is 17 billion.
But then you see, in spite of those laudable movements, some have said that he hasn't concentrated enough on encouraging domestic participation in the market. It seems as if he's been doing a lot of traveling and focusing on bringing in more foreign investors. Do you agree?
Well, it's a market, and it's a combination of foreign and domestic. We cannot push our people beyond how they can push themselves. But I think what the CEO at the stock exchange has done is to put the right structures in place, okay? Which accounted for why, I don't know, they said he's traveling, and all those things. But he's generally recognized across the African countries. He's the president, African Securities and Exchange Association, as the chairman, West African Capital Market Integration Committee, saddled with integrating the whole West African markets. It's a very big job, that he has been doing there. And Oscar is a visionary leader. It's only a visionary leader that can take on other platforms like FMDQ and NSE, and he has invested in these platforms with a vision to grow the entire capital market community. And the platforms are meant to actually be competing with the stock exchange, but what we see is that they are competing in a collaborative manner, which is better for the whole market.
So, transiting now from the interim management to the full management in 2011 when he became the CEO, could you just talk to us about some of the milestones, especially since there was a lot of interfacing with the stockbroking community?
Oh yes, not just stockbroking community alone, it's all stakeholders in the capital market community. Oscar has transformed the trading system. It has taken the market to the international community. It has transformed even the stakeholders, the participants, the players on the platform to the international level. And presently, we have some international products that have been traded, and they're working on some other ones. To me, he has done very well.
Has he done very well in terms of trying to achieve demutualization of the NSE?
I think that is on the next agenda, and what we in the capital market community have challenged him with. He has done well in the first 5 years, and the next 5 years, we want to see him. For instance, presently, the market capitalization of equities is less than 10 trillion naira. The next 5 years, we want to see the capitalization of equities in excess of 100 trillion naira. And there's a roadmap to achieve this. This will fall into his agenda in the next 5 years to see multiple listings in the oil sectors, especially the upstream, telecommunications, the whole process of the value chain in the agro-allied industries, solid minerals, and all that. If we develop this in the next 5 years agenda within the frame of the market development, I think we'll have a bigger market in the next 5 years.
But then we're also looking at encouraging an agri-commodities market as well, and it seems as if that has. Well, he should be, part of those championing the introduction of an agri-commodities exchange, but that doesn't seem to be coming up at the moment.
It is. If you look at the federal government agenda, agriculture is at the front border, and with its investments and the association with other market platforms, the NESD, which is the market for unlisted securities, the FMDQ, which is the market for bonds, I think it is a change in all these processes, because we need to encourage, the agro-allied industries to come and list, and some of them that cannot fall on the main board of the Nigerian Stock Exchange will have to list on the NESD. And in all these platforms, the stock exchange is anchoring everybody, to come on board in the process.
Okay, I want you to talk a little bit more about this demutualization. How do you think it should go about it, and when do you think it should come on stream?
Presently, I think demutualization is an agenda of Oscar in the next 5 years. And I think from what we have been told or from what we have learned, he's going about it in the right way.
How is the right way? Could you just...
He has spoken to the consultants, and that's the first step to start. It's not what the exchange can say they want to do on their own, or that, but they have appointed consultants, and is engaging the whole capital market community. And I think we expect the consultants to do a very good job, learning from other African countries that have gone through that route. But what we expect now is a clear timetable and a roadmap of how to achieve full demutualization within a few years.
When you say a few years, let's get a very clear timeline, because he's got another 5-year stint after he finishes, this first one. So he has another 5 years. Do you expect to see this achieved in the next 3 years, in the next 2 years, or by the end of his tenure, which is 5 years from now?
I think in the next 2 to 3 years, we should achieve demutualization.
Do you think he has everything that he needs to work with to achieve demutualization?
Absolutely. What is important is the support of the council. We have been assured the council has given a go-ahead, to achieve that. And the whole capital market community is working with him. The whole members of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, they are working with him to achieve that.
So let's say he takes over, as in he starts a new tenure at the end of March. Your expectation is for him to ensure full demutualization before the end of his next tenure. What about in terms of seeing improved use of technology? Already, we've seen that with the NASDAQ OMX platform that has also been introduced on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. What other innovations, technology innovations, will you be expecting from Oscar Onyema and his team in the next 5 years?
Honestly, with what they have achieved so far, to me, they have done well in terms of technology, and they have done well in terms of bringing every members on board. Don't forget, we just completed a process which we call minimum operating standards. And the minimum operating standards is all about technology, and a broker in Nigeria, a stockbroker in Nigeria, he will compete favorably with an international colleague. And all these, we talk about technology, capacity, and the development. From what we have now, you can trade from anywhere in the country.
But then you see, a lot of people can trade, yes, but then how much is being done with regards continuous in education of investors for them to understand what the Nigerian Stock Exchange is all about? So that you can trade from anywhere, yes, in the world, but then do you have enough, have you been educated enough on how to do that?
Education happens in different levels. On our own part, at the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers, there's a form of education that goes on there, because we are a body that certifies stockbrokers, to practice on all these platforms. At the stock exchange level, you have to be educated on how to operate on the platform. If you go to NESD, you have to be educated on how to operate on their own level. And apart from these basic, entry requirements and education, there is what we call continuous development programs.
What about for investors like me who just want to understand the rudiments of what the Nigerian Stock Exchange is all about? Do we have enough education programs coming from the exchange to encourage laymen to understand what goes on at the Nigerian Stock Exchange?
I think we have. Earlier this year, we had a forum with the stock exchange, in which the stock exchange with stakeholders like Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers wants to embark on what we call roadshows across the regions of Nigeria. It's all about education and encouraging and bringing our local investors on board, talking to them about investments, talking to them about various platforms available to them, because before it used to be, oh, we cannot list on the stock exchange. Well, the story is different now. If you know you cannot list at the stock exchange, you can at least start from the NSD.
NSD OTC market.
Because they can start with the NSD. Then as your business grows, you can improve and go to the Nigerian Stock Exchange platform and list. And if you are in a debt market, you can list on the FMDQ. So it's a total, responsibility, and it's a total development issue that we have taken on board.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Oluwaseyi Abe, for coming on the program this morning.
Thank you very much.